Tell me what's going on.
Well, or I would say let's talk about last week or so. When I turn on the car, the touch screen would be dark, would be black, and there would be a lot of static coming from the radio. It was on an AM station, and then in a few minutes, sometimes it's like 5-10 minutes, it would connect. Everything would to the screen. I could touch the screen. I could control the audio, the radio, everything. That happened for a few days. Then, I want to say 2 days ago, it went completely black. It stayed that way, and I have no audio whatsoever.
And so now it's not.
No, not working at all.
And your question to me is, what can I help?
Well, when I looked at the manual, I went to Riley's. They completely, I don't know what they looked up, but they're completely wrong because it looks like it's fuses number 33 and 32 that require the micro 2 fuse, 10A for 32, 20A for 33 on the inside panel. He told me he thought it was 15 and 20 on the under the hood, which is completely wrong. So anyway, I just want to know if you would agree that it's number 32 and 33 that I need to replace.
Got it. Well, Ford has had a major problem with these touch screens, and it's usually more than just a fuse. But absolutely, you should check the fuses first. So yes, I'm showing fuse number 33 in the body control module on the left end of the dash. Inside the vehicle powers up your display. Right. And 33 is for the radio. Correct.
So now the fuse rating, that's what I would go by when I buy these fuses. It's not so much the fuse 32. I want to make sure that the fuse rating is a 10A micro, or in 33 is a 20A micro. Is that correct?
It's a 20 amp. That is correct.
Or 20 amp, yeah.
Yep.
And so I guess that's the starting point. I've never had this. This is my third fusion, and I've never had this happen to me before.
Okay. So I'm actually showing that this is such a common problem. It's called an Accessory Protocol Interface Module, or APIM. The display, this module usually goes bad, causing this problem. Now, after you check the fuse, if it's not the fuse, and before you get it replaced at the dealership, you could try to disconnect the battery cables from the battery and rub the cables together for 5 minutes. And that'll discharge all the capacitors and all the modules on board the vehicle, and it might start working like normal once again.
So I would disconnect the cables from the battery and rub them together.
That's correct.
That is not going to send a volt to me, rubbing those two cables together?
Not if the battery is disconnected.
So how do I disconnect the battery?
So there's going to be two terminals that you just find the nut or the bolt, and you just loosen up the nut or the bolt. If it's a side post battery, it's like an 8 or a 10 millimeter. If it's a top post battery, it could be a 10 millimeter or a 12 or 13 millimeter. And you just disconnect it with a wrench or a socket. You just loosen up a couple turns, and then you just take the cables off the battery on both battery posts, and then you just rub the cables together. And then
the cables that I just disconnected.
You got it. Yep. And then you just reconnect the cables back up to the battery and see if that does the trick.
Rub cables together and then reattach and see if that helps.
Yep. And if it doesn't, then you're just going to have to go to the dealership. They'll have to take a look at that module, make sure the wiring's good, maybe try to update it, and then possibly replace it as needed.
So to me, that sounds very expensive. That's why I was attempting to replace the fuses myself.
Right.
There's nothing but pulling them out and putting a new one in. I mean, it's a real... I don't need a brain surgeon to do that.
Right.
But what you're saying is it may not be the fuses.
That's correct.
So I should first try to disconnect the battery, loosen the nut or the bolts, and then rub the cables together and reattach and see if that doesn't solve the problem.
Well, what I would do is I would recommend to check the fuse first, because when you do the battery disconnect, everything on board the vehicle, everything is going to lose power. It's going to shut down. Everything's going to be reset. Yeah. All the save presets, the radio presets, everything's going to go back down to factory reset. So
okay, I would rather last resort. So
yep.
So the the person at Riley Auto Supply gave me some, well, I'm not going to say bad information. He gave me what he thought he knew, and that was underneath as opposed to the inside, the one by on the left, inside the car fuse box. He thought it was under the hood, so I took off the top of the fuse box. He thought it was 15 and 20, and so I took those out. They were the wrong size that I bought, put them back in. But then I got a little toolbar or a little wrench message later. So I don't know, and I've got my manual out right now, but I wonder what I might have done incorrectly because I got that little orange wrench, which means it's some kind of technical trouble. I don't know what that means.
Let's take a look here. There's going to be codes in the computer. I thought it was with either the throttle body or something with the body of the vehicle or something with the transmission. So there's going to be a code. Here are common reasons it might be on. Possible causes: throttle body, transmission problems, electronic control faults, sensor malfunctions, scheduled maintenance needed. What you should do, check for DTCs, inspect the throttle and transmission performance, and visit a mechanic. So it could be a number of things. We just got to figure out what code's in the computer. So that's going to be what's next here.
Yeah, and too much of a coincidence for that to come on right after I removed and reinserted those other.
I agree. It's probably related. I'm sure it's related.
I mean, maybe one of them I didn't push down completely.
Yep.
That might have caused it, right?
Absolutely. If it's in the wrong spot or if you didn't put it in all the way, absolutely.
All right. So I will. It's dark right now, so I'll have to do this in the morning. But like I said, it's too much of a coincidence. So I'll check that out. So I'm going to replace the fuses in the morning, and then we'll see if that does the trick.
You got it.
So this is very helpful. Thank you so much. It was worth $5.
You bet. You're welcome. Any other questions while we're on the phone?
No, I think I should do it. Right now, that was my biggest thing.
Well, sounds good. Well, good luck, and let us know if anything comes up.
I certainly will. Thank you so much for your help.
You bet. You're welcome.